Do you want to eliminate pivot tables of your life and learn a much simple way to create the same tables? Stay with me until the end of this video. So let's start creating a pivot table so we can use it to compare to the group by function. What do we do when we want to create a pivot table? We're going to select all the table, go to insert, pivot table. Then I want in an existing worksheet, and I'm going to place it right here and click OK. So let's give it a try and see the sales by country. Here it is. Okay, this is our pivot table. But what is the negative side of a pivot table? Every time we change a value, for example, this here, I'm gonna put a lot of zeros. The value in the pivot table won't change because we need to refresh it manually. We need to click in the pivot table, go in pivot table, analyze, and click in refresh. Then this is France, the first value here. The value will be refreshed. Okay, let me refresh again so we can maintain the correct value and give it a shot to our group by function. Now I want to create this function. I will start with group by. The group by function have a lot of statements. The first one is the row field. It's the same as the row labels. So I want to select the country. I will hit F4 to freeze the columns. I already have videos talking about this. Then the next argument, it's a value. So we want the sales value. And then freeze again. And then the function that we want to aggregate the value. In our case here is a sum. And close parentheses and hit enter. As you can see, it's exactly the same thing down here in our pivot table. But what is the main advantage of this function? When we change a value, it automatically changes in our table. We don't have to remember to go and analyze table and refresh the pivot table. It's much easier and much faster to do it. And we have other advantages. Let me just go back here. I don't like this big value here distinguishing from the others. So next thing, if you want to put two values, because here, for example, our manager wants to see the value, the sum, the total, and the percentage that this value is around the grand total. How can we do that in a pivot table? We just go here, put the value again, go to value field settings, show value as percentage of the grand total. And here it is. We already have automatically. How can we do that in a group by function? We just need to aggregate two different aggregation functions inside our formula here. How can we do that? In the group by function, we need to put other function that is called age stack. Basically, it concatenates two or more matrix together. So now I want inside of this, I want the array 1 to be a sum and the array 2 to be a percentage of. Then I will remove this parenthesis and close it our age stack and close our group by. As you can see, automatically created the values for us. And if we put exactly the same formatting that the pivot table, the values are the same. Pretty cool, right? Now, Let me take it off this age stack and leave it just one value here so we can play a little more with the group by function. Let me just, oh, and every time you want to edit the formula, you need to click in the first row of your table you created by the group by. As you can see in the others, it's the formula is in gray, and when we click it, it won't appear. If we click in the first row of the table, then we can edit the formula. So let's just take this off and return to the sum. Okay, now, for example, we don't have the headers here, and we have this total. Let's say that we want the headers and don't want the totals. How can we do that? We have a lot of optional arguments here in the function. One of them is field headers. No, I don't want field headers. Yes, but I don't want to show. I don't have, but I want to generate. This one, they will create a random nameless as column 1, column 2, etc. And the third is, the 3 is yes, and I want to show. That's one that we'll choose. Then hit enter. As you can see now, the headers are being shown. Now, the next optional argument is total depth. To see if we want to do not show the totals, show the grand total and subtotals, grand total at top, and or grand total and subtotals at top. We want no totals, 0. And then hit enter. Now, the total here in our formula, in our table, sorry, is gone. The next argument is sort order. We can choose the column that we want to sort our table. For example, if you want to sort by country, I will use 1. Then it will order alphabetically. Now, if we want to invert the order, the descending order Z to A of alphabetic order, we just put -1 instead of 1 here. Now it's inverted the order. If we want to use the second column, the sales value, we do the same thing, but instead we change for 2 because it's the second column. Here it is. The smallest to the larger, and now the larger to the smaller. There it is. Pretty cool, right? And for example, if we want to filter this, how can we do that? For example, we know that Italy, it's not available country anymore. We won't sail to this country again, so we don't want that the sales appear in our table. How can we eliminate this automatically? We can go to the next argument, that is filter array, and then explain what we want to filter. I want that the country, always hit F4, is different from Italy. And hit enter. As you can see, Italy is gone from our table. We can use all, we can, instead of using different, if I just want Italy, I just need to change here for equal. Voila. It's pretty fast to edit our table. Okay, let me maintain here. And for example, if you want to aggregate by country and product. How can we do that? We can use, let's edit the formula here. So the row fields here, we can select both. First, before I do this, let me just delete our pivot table here. Now, if you want to group by more than one column, we just need to select 2 or more columns here. I want this and this. And hit enter. And there it is. Let me just format this so the values will be correct. Here. And there it is. We have the product and the country in our field. Now, for example, in the pivot table, we can change. Let me just go back here with Ctrl Z so we can grab our pivot table back. So here we can put more columns. For example, if I want to see the quarter as a column, I just have to grab and drag here in columns. Then our pivot table will be like this, showing quarter 1, 2, 3, 4, quarter 1, 2, 3, 4, and so it's on. Let me just take this off. Now it's better. It's making more sense. Just using one value. Quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4. Okay? How can we do the same thing in our group by function? The easy answer is we can't. But we have another formula that is called pivot by that can do this. So now let's create the pivot by function. Pivot by, I want the row field, our country. I want our quarter as the column, and the value, I want the sales, and the function, the sum. There it is. As you can see, we have the exactly same thing that we have down here. Just organize this, one zero after the comma, and there it is. Pretty cool, right? We have the same values and they will change dynamically exactly as the group by. As you can see, it has changed here. And we don't have to worry about refreshing manually. The both functions work at exactly the same way, but this one needs a row field and a column field. They need the both arguments. And this one just need the rows, so you can choose what will suit you better to create your analysis. I hope that you like it. So, did you like our video today? Let me know all in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And I see you guys on our next video.